What's up guys, Brandon here with Boogey Lights. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install our multicolor RGB WW awning light kit on this 2020 Wolf Pup Limited. This is a travel trailer by Forest River. It comes equipped with a 12-foot Solera power awning. Now as you can see, it does have a single color blue LED already on there, but we will be replacing that with our multicolor RGB WW, which also has a warm white and a bright white option. This will also come with a Bluetooth equipped controller module, so you will be able to run it off of your phone, and we're going to walk you through everything you need to know. Come take a look. Alright guys, let's take a look inside the box. This would be the packaging for our awning light kit. First thing you'll notice is a very detailed installation manual. It is about 7 pages long, and it does cover not only how to mount the LEDs, but also operating them. In this case, it'll have Bluetooth instructions as well as a diagram, wiring diagram. This is the LED strip. It is 16 feet long. It has a 15-foot hardwired power lead on one end. For our RGB WW product, this will be a 6-conductor wire. Our installation supplies, it comes with our 3M94 primer, which will go down to the surface after we use our alcohol swabs here. We will make the final connection in this scenario to our 12 volts using our mounts here, and let's see. Well, finally we have our controller module. This is the brains of the operation. BLRC is our Boogey Lights remote control, and then you will have a number behind it which signifies whether or not you have Bluetooth. Alright guys, now that we've taken a look at what comes inside the kit, let's take a look at what's required for installation. In front of us here we have our power drill. Today we will be using a 1/4 inch drill bits for our RGB WW product. This is a little bit thicker than our RGB, which only requires a 3/16. After we've drilled the hole, we will seal it off with a little bit of Lexel, and then we will use our mineral spirits to clean off the surface. For making the cut, we just have a standard pair of scissors here. The awning itself is only 12 feet. All of our strips do come standard 16 feet long, unless otherwise requested that we cut it in shop. If you want to cut on site, we include some heat shrink tubing that will go around the edge here. We will be using our heat gun to seal that up. It seals the printed circuit board off so you don't have any moisture getting onto it. If you don't have a heat gun at home, you can use a hair dryer. We also have a couple strippers that will be making the electrical connection, and our handy 12 volt voltmeter on hand, so we verify that we have a solid, steady 12 volts. We will also be using just a standalone 12 volt battery for bench testing, which is one of the most important steps, and we're going to take a look at that now. Alright, now we're going to bench test our LED strip itself. In order to do this, you're going to need a 12 volt source, and then you're going to take 12 volt directly to the LED strip. You'll see coming off of it that you have our black wire is always our ground wire on any of our products. You will then take that to your ground, and then you'll take a hot source to each one individually. For this example, there's a warm white for the gray wire, a bright white for the white wire, blue for the blue wire, red for the red, and green for the green. So you just want to verify that you have a solid, ready-to-go product before mounting to the rig. All of our awning LED kits come in 16-foot lengths. Since we will be measuring off 12 feet today, we have to cut off 4. So in order to do that, we go to the end of the LED strip itself, count back 4 feet, and find our closest cut points. Next, you will use some household scissors to make the cut itself, and use a little heat shrink tubing to protect the printed circuit board. Alright, now that we have our LED strip cut to fit the exact size of the awning, we're going to protect that exposed circuit board there with a little bit of heat shrink tubing. You'll put it half on and half off the LED strip like so, and then we're going to heat it up and actually pinch it down around the edge. You can actually feel it pinch down. Know that you have a good solid seal. Now we're ready to prep the surface to mount the strip. First step is our alcohol. This is included in every kit, so it'll be an alcohol swab here. We're going to clean off the surface, remove any dirt and grime. For this, we're going to mount directly up against the top of the RV itself. I'll discuss why we decided upon that here shortly. There are a multitude of different options for mounting the strip, either on top, a little bit down. So we'll go into further detail here in a second. All right, now we're currently dry mounting the LED strip. This allows us to roll it all the way out to make sure we do have the correct length. It also allows us to simply move the LED strip up once we've primed the surface. Priming is the most important part of the process to make sure the LED strip stays stuck. As you notice here, we have duct tape holding up our end power lead so that we are preventing any pressure from being on the solder joint itself. Follow along here, and then we'll move the strip up once we've primed the surface. Now that we've cleaned the surface with alcohol and dry mounted our LED strip, we're going to the most important part. This is going to prep the surface with our 3M VHB primer. There is a little black dot. This tube is included in your kit. There is a activation button here, so you will press down. You will hear the crack, and then shake it towards the sponge end. Once you see that the sponge is moist with the primer, you're ready to begin. So we know we want to mount it right up here. All it requires is one nice swipe along that surface, and then we will continue to move down. Now keep in mind, some people want to apply it as if it's a paintbrush or a painting material. It does not require that much. Just one strip right along the surface. Only a ½ inch of the LED strip itself is what needs to be covered for the 3M tape to adhere. And voila! All right, now that we've properly prepped the surface, we're going to remove the tape backing. This is the red tape. So there's the actual 3M tape on the back. We're going to slowly remove a couple feet of the portion itself before we mount the strip. Since we are mounting all the way up at the very top of this awning, we're going to just gently press up at the top, and we're going to follow it all the way along. Keep in mind, you never want to have any tension on the solder point itself, hence why we taped off the power lead over here and made sure that that's our first spot that we're adhering. So power lead is always to be protected. All right, and now we'll move down and remove the rest of the backing and get it mounted. I mentioned earlier about discussing why we chose this location for the LED strip. We are mounting to the very top here where the awning actually comes to the rig. What we did is we brought the awning all the way in, and we verified that it will not be blocking the LED strip at its current location. Some units, the LED will be completely blocked off when that awning's in, which we don't prefer. You want to be able to use it, say you just get to campsite, or if it's windy, you don't have your awning out, you still want to be able to use the lighting itself. In this method, they will be able to do that. The other option here could have been up on the top, projecting downward. Now that would be similar to what the OEM LED strip is doing currently. We tend to think that it has a better look at night, projecting outward on the campsite, all around a better option. The third option that we get a lot of requests about are to the awning arm itself. We never recommend mounting to the roller. It creates a fail point of coming in and out. It's also going to project those LEDs directly down on you at the campsite. If you're in the camper at night and you're looking out and it is on the roller, you're going to be blinded. You're going to be looking directly into the light. It's not going to help the site itself as far as projecting. So now that we have the strip mounted, let's go ahead and talk about connecting. Now that we have the LED strip mounted to the RV, we're going to run the power lead down the awning arm itself, and this is where we're going to eventually access 12-volt power. In order to run it down, we are going to have to remove these plastic coverings. But to remove them, you simply just pull them out. Relatively simple. It will expose the wiring itself, which we have already verified our 12-volt source. We will show you how to do that though as well. Once we reach this point here, we can remove the duct tape since there will no longer be the pressure on the soldering joint. Now that all the pressure is off of the joint itself, it's currently right here for the power lead, we will fish it down the awning arm. All right, now we have our 6 conductor power lead down here to our first connection that we will be making. For our RGB WW product, we're actually going to be hooking up the white LED and the warm white LED to the existing LED light that they have for the OEM product. It's relatively simple. However, this is the first time that we've shown it for you guys, so let's take a look. Now that we've cut the wires, we've turned on the awning light on the interior there. So these two should be, one should be hot and one will be our ground wire. What we're going to do is use our handheld voltmeter. We've verified already that the bottom wire here is our ground and the top should be hot. So once we apply the pressure there, you should have 12.25, which verifies that it is a good 12 volt source. Next step is we're going to splice in our 2 conductor power lead coming down here. And from there on, the Boogey Lights should activate off of that interior switch. So now for this customer, they want to be able to activate a white light with their interior current switch. So what we're going to do is we've used our RGB WW product. It is a 5 LED strip itself. 2 of those, one is a warm white and one is a bright white. We're going to tie both of those into their existing hot switch, which will activate off of the interior current. And then we will run our 4 conductor power lead down to our controller module, which will be controlled via Bluetooth as well as RF remote, but also gives them that interior switch that, say if they're in there at night and they just want to be able to light up the campsite as quick as possible with a white light. It also gives them the warm white, which is a very popular option nowadays, to where you can sit outside, enjoy it a little bit more than it being illuminated so much that it looks like an operating room. Now let's get down to cutting this 6 conductor wire. We're going to strip back all of the conductors, and then we're going to make our 2 white connections here to this hot, and we'll run the rest down into our storage bay. Now that we have the covers back on, we're going to go ahead and hit the switch. And there you have it, our RGB WW awning light kit. It's installation using an OEM switch. Now that we've connected our white wire and our warm white wire to the existing OEM switch, we're going to continue running our 4 conductor power lead, which will be connected to our controller module, which will eventually mount in the storage bay here. This is going directly to a 12 volt source. So for this particular installation, the customer does not want to drill in through the side of the rig itself. So we will run the power lead all the way down, and then we're going to just run it right up underneath this siding here. We're going to use some zip tie mounts to hold at one point right there, and then we're going to continue it along to about here, and we're going to drill up from underneath into the storage bay. All right, now that we've run the power lead into this bottom storage bay, as well as extended our 12 volt source from the tongue of the travel trailer, we're going to mount the controller module to the sidewall here using a little bit of 3M Velcro. It is important when you're mounting the controller module that it be in a dry, ventilated area. It is not waterproof, and it does require room to breathe, so to speak. All right, now that we've completed our connection between the 12 volts and the controller module itself, we're going to go ahead and fire up the LED strip. So when you first hit on the M7, it should come on to a bright white. This is our standard RGB here. And then you'll have 7 different available colors with this. We have a dark red, a dark green, a dark blue, a light green, which is more of a yellowish, and then a pinkish purple, and then you would be into the light blue, which is more of an aqua blue, and then the bright white again. 7 different levels of dimming. We also have the flashing, strobing, breathing, color changing functions, all of which can be slowed down or sped up or dimmed down. But that's all for today, folks, and hope you enjoyed.